Welcome Redheads. In this video, I want to talk to you about what we need to get the latest Reddcoin wallet running on a Raspberry Pi. Well, obviously we need a Raspberry Pi, and I'm using a Raspberry Pi with 2 gigabytes of memory. But you can also use one with 1 gigabytes of memory, but it will definitely take much longer to get things running. So I would really recommend to use the latest Raspberry Pi 4 with at least 2 gigabytes of memory, which is really the best bang for the buck we have right now. Then we need a micro SD card with at least 16 gigabytes of memory. I'm using 32 and 64 gigabyte cards from Samsung and SanDisk. Just please try to avoid the cheapest ones. A micro SD card reader and software to copy to your SD card is also needed to get the ready-to-use image called RedPi onto your SD card. Finally, we need a local network with a wireless or wired connection. In this tutorial, I'm using a software called VNC Viewer to get access to your Raspberry Pi and to the desktop environment by using any existing device like mobile devices or your laptop. Just needs to be connected to the same local network. So in this case, we don't need to hook it up to a monitor or a TV to see what's going on. So let's get things started. I will use this manual for a step-by-step installation of the RedPi image using the tools I've mentioned earlier. The first step is that we need to choose the right image file. We have two RedPi image files. The one is the light version and the other one is the non-light version with the desktop environment. We will choose the desktop environment because we have a Raspberry Pi 4 and we want to show you all steps that are needed to run the latest Reddcoin wallet on the desktop environment. So we need to go to sourceforge.net and search for RedPi. Just click on RedPi, Files, and choose Raspbian Buster. That's the non-light version. Just click on the zip file to download. Second step is that we need to flash this downloaded image to our SD card. We will use Etcher in our tutorial, but you can use any tool which is available to flash any image to your SD card, like Win32 Disk Imager. These are the settings of the tool Etcher, and we need to remove eject on success before we start to flash our image to the SD card, because Etcher will disconnect your SD card after the flash process, but we need to edit some config files. So we need to deactivate this option. Just click on this icon and remove this setting. So then we need to select our image. You can select the downloaded zip file or the extracted image file. Doesn't matter. If you need to change the location of your device, you can just click on change. And then we need just to click on flash. Hit yes. Wait a few seconds. Then a new window will pop up. You need just to close. And then the flashing process begins. After the flashing is done, Etcher will automatically start validating the written data. Now that the validating process was successfully completed, we can now continue with editing some config files. We can now close Etcher. If you are on a wireless connection, we need to prepare your Raspberry Pi for getting the connection parameters into the Raspberry Pi operating system. I have already prepared my configuration file, but in this example you can see what you need to have to do. Just copy this example to your Notepad++ editor and change your SSID and password. Be sure to click on Edit, End of Line Conversion, and hit Unix. Then we need just to save the file onto your SD card. Select Boot. Just be sure to have the right file name, vpa_supplicant.conf. So that's it for the wireless connection. Then we need to open the existing file on the boot partition called config.txt. Then we need to look for HDMI parameters like this one here, HDMI force hot plug 1 and HDMI group 2 and HDMI mode 82. These are already configured in the RedPi image. If we need another resolution, then we need to edit this configuration stated here. HDMI mode 85 for 720p and HDMI mode 85 for 1080p. These settings are needed if we need to connect your Raspberry Pi over VNC and not over HDMI cable. So if we set these two parameters, we should be fine and ready to go. You can also copy your wallet file to your SD card if we have one, so you don't have to do this afterwards, just to simplify things. So for this we can just go to the directory of your wallet file and copy it also to your boot partition. Okay, now we have prepared everything we need to run your Raspberry Pi and connect it via VNC to see the desktop environment. For this, we need to download the VNC viewer. Just go to realvnc.com and download your VNC viewer. Just click on download if you're on Windows, or select Mac OS if you're on Mac, and so on. So now it's time to remove your SD card from your SD card reader to put it back into your Raspberry Pi located on the back, like shown here on this picture. Make sure that all cables are connected, like your Ethernet cable when you want to connect your Raspberry Pi to your local network by wire, and of course the USB cable to finally power it up. The first initial boot up will take some time, depending on the speed of your SD card and the Raspberry Pi itself you are using. So after a few minutes, we should be able to connect to the Raspberry Pi desktop environment using VNC Viewer. For this, we need to add a new connection by clicking on File, New Connection. Then we need to type in RedPi as the VNC server and Reddcoin wallet, or any other name you prefer, as the name. Then just click on OK. And now we're finally able to open up a connection to see the running desktop environment, so we can complete our setup. So to open up a connection, we just need to right click on the previously created entry, then hit connect. Type in as a username Pi and password RDD staking as one word. Then hit enter or OK. So now we have connected to our desktop environment of the Raspberry Pi. And on the left side, we have the Reddcoin core wallet and some other script files, like downloading to download the Reddcoin blockchain data, to update the operating system, or to update the Reddcoin core wallet itself. If you have copied the wallet.file to your boot directory, we need to open up a new terminal. Then we need to change the directory to .redcoin, and then we need to copy our wallet.file from the boot directory to your Reddcoin wallet directory. This is also the directory where the blockchain data is stored. But we are not finished yet. We need to change the owner rights to the user Pi and the group Pi, so that the wallet can access our file. So now we can close this terminal, and it's really recommended to download the blockchain data before you start the Reddcoin wallet, because if you run the Reddcoin wallet without downloading the blockchain data, the wallet will start to download the blockchain data, and this is really taking long. So if we want to speed up things, it's highly recommended to download the blockchain data. So just double click on Redcoin on download Redcoin blockchain data. This could take some hours depending on your connection and depending on the mirror which will be chosen by SourceForge. Sometimes the connection cannot be established and you have to try it again if you don't see a downloading process going on. When the download was successful, the script will automatically extract all blockchain data into the Redcoin directory. If you see this message, everything was extracted, so you can now close the terminal window. We can now double click on the Redcoin logo to start the wallet. Oh, and please don't forget to change your password for your Pi user. For this, we need to open up a new terminal window again. Then type passwd, hit enter, type in the current password, which is RDD staking in one word, confirm with enter, type in your new password, confirm with enter, retype your new password, and confirm it again with enter. Now you have successfully updated your password, and we can now close the terminal window. It is important to remember the new password or to keep it somewhere written in a safe place. Otherwise, you will not be able to log in via console or VNC Viewer again. The startup process of the wallet will take at least 3 hours on the Raspberry Pi with 1 gigabyte of memory or less, since it has to load parts of the blockchain database into the memory of the Raspberry Pi. If you're running the wallet on a Raspberry Pi 4 with at least 2 gigabytes of memory, it will only take about 2 minutes for the startup. With preloaded blockchain data, the wallet now only has to download a few missing blocks. So this will not take too long until the wallet is fully synchronized. So that's it, Redheads. You have successfully turned your Raspberry Pi into a stake machine. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.